Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here, of course, with Geography Now. As I said, this has in the title. In Gambia, I think that's how you pronounce it. You're up next, and once again, have no clue about Gambia, but I know it's gonna be awesome, and I know it's gonna be very informative. So, uh. Let's just jump in and check it out, guys, and see what Gambia has to offer. Before we do, please hit that like and subscribe, guys. Please and thank you. That would help me out a lot. And yeah, let's get to it. Hope you guys are having an amazing day or amazing night whenever you're watching this. And let's relax. All right. Whenever my computer decides to work. Oh, here we go.
Not Gambia, the Gambia. You gotta put a the before Gambia. And it's Gambia, not Zambia, not Gambit, not Get-bia, as in Bob Sack, Get-bia, Gambia.
It's time to learn geography
now! Hey everyone, welcome to the Gambia. They actually deliberately chose to put the before Gambia to avoid confusion with Zambia, making it one of the only countries with a the in the shortened title. Wow, that was like the least witty opening I've ever made for a video. Okay, let's see. This place is so interesting, you'll be saying, Dambia!
Is that the first time you're using profane language on your show?
No, I meant dam as in a beaver dam. Ha! Keeping it clean since 2014. Ooh. Dude, half of this country's charm is found in its strangely drawn borders and territory marks. Not only is it the smallest country on mainland Africa, but it's also disputably the most oddly shaped.
Yeah.
First of all, the Gambia is located on the furthest section of Western Africa off the Atlantic coast. Other than its 80-kilometer coastline on the Atlantic, the Gambia is completely surrounded by Senegal on all three sides and meanders inland following the Gambia River for about 320 kilometers. The country is divided into 8 local government areas, including the capital Banjul, which is classified as a city area, located on a small island just at the mouth of the river. The largest city just next door to Banjul, though, is Serekunda, and the entire country has one international airport, Banjul Yundum International, which, by the way, has a bunch of weird airlines that I never heard of that fly to it, like the UK's Thomas Cook Airlines and Lithuania's Small Planet Airlines.
That's awesome.
Off the coast, the furthest plots of land that lay claim to the Gambia are the Bijol Islands. The Gambia is often referred to as the smiling coast of Africa due to the fact that not only are the beaches amazing, but if you look at the map, it kind of looks like Senegal is a deformed Pac-Man looking type of thing, and the Gambia is a cheeky, sultry Elvis curled lip grin smile. Otherwise, the country in itself looks like a snake with a horrible underbite. Now, you might be thinking, okay, why does this country even exist? Like, it's so small, wouldn't it be easier if they just joined Senegal and became one country? Well, that's a very observant but horrible conclusion. Now, you have to understand that in Africa...
I was going to say, I was thinking that, like, why, if they're surrounded, like, what happened to where they're, where just that, that small sliver, of land, just was decided to be separate. Obviously, I'm probably going to find out here, but definitely interesting so far with the shape of it. And apparently, you guys got some amazing, awesome beaches. So I guess you guys have a bunch of hotels and stuff on the beach. Get some good tourism. But anyways, we're gonna find out.
Senegal became one country. Well, that's a very observant but horrible conclusion. Now, you have to understand that in Africa, every stretch of territorial sovereignty claim matters, even if you can just take a morning stroll across one side of the country to the other. The reason why the Gambia is shaped like this is partially because of European colonialism and partially because of complacency. Senegal used to belong to the French Empire and the Gambia used to belong to the British. Essentially, they drew the borders to follow the Gambia River with 2 straight lines jutting inland from the coast between 13 degrees 9 minutes and 13 degrees 30 minutes north. However, they made a deal and said that the Gambia could have all the land that flowed west of the Halahin Balong River in the south. This did, however, transect a portion of the Janak Peninsula, which is shared by both countries. Somewhere along the halfway point, they decided that the straight lines would stop and that the country would be allotted somewhere between 9 to 12-ish kilometers in every direction around the river on each side inland for about 320 kilometers. That's not a lot. I mean, area-wise, the entire country is only about the size of Jamaica. So essentially, the country is kind of like a river that masquerades as a country. The most important route, though, would have to be the north and south bank roads. You can literally traverse the entire country on this loop road that starts west at Bara and then crosses the river at Fatoto and then heads all the way back to Banjul. Keep in mind though, most borders aren't even really marked that well or at all. Most checkpoints between them and Senegal only appear on major roadways. Otherwise, you can totally cross into Senegal from virtually any open field along the way. A few notable sites would include the Senegambian stone circles, the world's largest concentration of stone circles, and a UNESCO heritage.
I'm just curious, like, and I guess in all countries, but especially like they said, there's only checkpoints at like the highways, so does anyone really care? Like, I'm not sure how big a deal it is to cross over into another country without, kind of announcing yourself. Uh, do like each country, do they really even care if you just kind of like wander across the field over there, or is that like a big deal? I'm just kind of curious how that is.
This would include the Senegambian stone circles, the world's largest concentration of stone circles and a UNESCO heritage site. Every visitor would go to the Arch 22, where you can get a nice panorama city view. If you have time, check out Kunta Kinte, or Fort James Island, that has a somewhat austere backstory and was kind of technically part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth at one point.
Yes, we made it to Africa that one time!
And that's the thing, in a lot of places in Africa, current borders don't really have much of a significance, but rather people tend to look at the tribal areas instead. And if that was the case, Africa would probably look more like this. Nonetheless, they still keep their country intact, and it all has to do with that one lifeline that connects them all, the Gambia River.
Okay.
Well, to no surprise, Gambia's land makeup pretty much comprises of whatever surrounds the Gambia River. This means that the majority of the land is a flat, grassy floodplain with mangroves closer to the coastline. In fact, about 10% of the entire land area is made up of water alone, and the highest point isn't even named. It's just a random hill that goes up 53 meters. Because of its limited space, the Gambia has had to develop a really creative cultivation plan over the past few decades. About 60% of the land area is of good arable quality, of which 40% is used for farming. About 80% of the population lives off of subsistence farming, mostly in rural areas, contributing to about a third of the GDP and 70% of the country's foreign exchange earnings. This means that organization is key. The Gambia has a very complex yet structured format in allocating crop fields. You have compounds, dadabas, mauros, kamayangos, and sinkiros that are administrated by a nakalo. There's also a kind of unspoken custom. Women are in charge of field and garden crops, whereas men are in charge of tree crops. And the river supplies them all with irrigation. Two food sources that the country thrives off of course, seafood and peanuts. The Gambia River supplies them with an abundance of fish species like the cassava fish, pampanos, barracuda, butterfish, grouper, snapper, and of course everyone loves the Gambia River oysters. Peanuts are used as a staple in so many dishes like mafe stew and domoda. The country enjoys a relatively warm climate with a rainy season, especially along the coast. However, the further east you travel, the drier and arid the landscape begins until you reach the savanna upper inland. Since the whole country is situated around the river, this means that a huge portion of the land is comprised of wetlands and swamps, although sometimes hard to cultivate, are perfect for harboring rich biodiversity. Animals like river birds, hippos, aardvarks, geckos, crocodiles, bush pigs, warthogs can be found, and even bottlenose dolphins playing in the mouth of the river. Speaking of which, the lion is the official animal of the country.
I was curious, because crocodiles and hippos, do people go swimming in that river, or is it one of those things like, it's like a death wish or something? Because it'd be kind of cool, like everyone, because if the whole country's along a river, so everyone kind of, has access to water, so that's pretty cool. Just kind of, I don't know. I don't think I could get in the water knowing, but then again, who knows? Anyways, lions, ooh, dolphins,
And even bottlenose dolphins playing in the mouth of the river. Speaking of which, the lion is the official animal of the country as it's found on the coat of arms. Notable nature zones include the River Gambia National Park, heavily concentrated with wildlife, the Abuku Nature Reserve with monkeys, and check out the reptile farm in Khartoum. Now let's get a little crazier and talk about who's running the show called The Gambia, shall we? Okay, this is the part where the episode is going to get a little funny. And by that I mean when we discuss politics. First of all, the Gambia has about 2 million people and is one of the least militarized countries in the world. The country is made up of a few main ethnic groups, the largest one being the Mandika at over 40%, the Fula at around 20%, the Wolof at around 16%, the Jola at 10%, and the rest is a conglomeration of other Africans like the Serahuli and other non-Africans.
Also, they use the Gambian Dalasi as their currency, they use the Type G outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road.
The largest ethnic group, the Mandika, have lived in the area for centuries, and they are the descendants of the Mali kingdom that stretched all across West Africa and had one of the richest kings in history. The earliest recordings have shown that the Gambia was subject to various African kingdoms as well, such as the Foni, Kombo, Sine, Saloum, and the Fulado. Around 90% of the country is Sunni Muslim, and the remaining 10% is Christian. Islam in the Gambia follows the Maliki school of jurisprudence, the system predominantly used in North and West African countries. It's interesting though, because kind of like the Comoros, even though the country is predominantly Muslim, Gambian women have incredibly loose clothing customs and statutes. Most women don't even wear the hijab, let alone abayas, but rather the typical pattern cloth dresses with exposed arms and necklines. The official language is English, as the country for a while was a colony under the British Empire until independence in 1965. However, Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, and Jola are spoken as a first language to the majority of the population. It's not uncommon to hear people speaking French as a third language though, due to their close proximity to Senegal and relative isolation from the nearest English-speaking country, Sierra Leone, at around 700 kilometers away. Music is huge out here. Disputably, the Wolof people have the best drummers. When listening, you'll be like, yeah, that's my Gambia. Of course, you can't miss out on a Mandinka Kankurang machete dance, which looks really cool. To address the illiteracy levels, they instead use a clear glass marble system in which the voter drops a marble in a steel drum to indicate the candidate that they want to choose. The Gambia has a strange political system. Technically, right now, there's a lot of drama between the outgoing president and the new one, this guy, who just won in 2016. I'm pretty sure this is the right picture of the guy. I know I've gotten a few notable pictures wrong in the past. Let's never speak of the Brazil incident again. Speaking of which, the official title of the president is Sheikh Professor Dr. President. Let's just say he claims he has the cure for AIDS, arthritis, diabetes, and infertility. Anyway, Jammeh originally conceded his loss to Adama, but then a few days after the election results, he was like, never mind. I guess he thought the results were a sham. Guys, this is one of my best friends and former roommates, Caleb. Say hi. There's a lot of controversy, though, because Adama has proposed a lot of policies that seem to favor the UK, whereas Jammeh was literally quoted for saying, Britain has done nothing except teach the Gambians how to sing Ba Ba Black Sheep. Well, interacting with the UK has played a huge role of importance in the country before and after independence. Let's elaborate.
So we're doing
Hey,
friends down
do
now?
you want to save money when you shop online? You should click right
Alright,
here
let's
and
get this
download Honey.
commercial here.
No.
Bam. So friend zone time? Good? Yep.
The Gambia, as mentioned before, is mainland Africa's smallest country, so to no surprise, they kind of have to make friends to get by. The Gambia plays an active role in West African and Muslim affairs, therefore has been reaching out to other nations like Libya and Mauritania. Mali, though, has a historical root and ties in with the Gambia as the Mandinka peoples have origins in the Malian kingdom. When it comes to Asia, the Gambia has jumped back and forth between recognizing either the People's Republic of China or Taiwan. For the longest time, the Gambia was the third African state recognizing Taiwan for about 18 years until Jammeh changed his mind in 2013. China didn't respond right away since they were just a little suspicious, but eventually they reopened ties in 2016. The UK is a little tricky because even though Jammeh was not a fan of the Brits still maintained strong relations. The Gambia is an incredibly popular tourist destination as it's the closest English-speaking African country to them, and business still carries very well between them. Their two best friends, though, more or less, would probably be Senegal and Sierra Leone. At one point, the Gambia was part of both countries under the British colonial times until the French took over. Then Senegal and Sierra Leone decided to kind of do their own thing. Nonetheless, proximity and language are what closely tie these three countries. In conclusion, the Gambia is a small, skinny country that literally surrounds the parameters of one river, but man, have they made something out of it. Stay tuned! Sakarvelo!
Wow, okay. So English speaking, I wasn't expecting that, so that's cool. I can definitely go on vacation there. And curious to how much hotel, like a week's worth of, to stay there would be. I don't know. I guarantee you the flight would be way more. That's what stinks about, I'd love to visit a bunch of places, but man, the plane tickets cost way more than like the hotel and the whole rest of a day trip, would be. But I'm not Gambia. I didn't, like I said, that's definitely very interesting because I definitely didn't know nothing about you guys till now. And then there's the shape is definitely something I'll remember. And you make his country around a river, so that's definitely different. English and you got the wildlife going for you. A bunch of different stuff. The road around the river, that seems pretty cool, I'm kind of curious, like, what activities and stuff you guys kind of do over there, like maybe sports and stuff, what you guys are into, or I don't know. But anyways, guys, definitely a cool little country. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe if you haven't. And then we'll be on to, I forgot what he said his country's name is, man. I am horrible at pronouncing countries and remembering stuff. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But anyways, yes, like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in future videos. Another great, interesting video from geography. Now, definitely check them out. They are amazing. And yeah, catch you guys in future videos.